Hello everybody, it is September 12th and I know that it's a little early, but I decided to start reading some of my Latinx heritage books. So I have started with The House of Broken Angels, which I actually don't think that I mentioned specifically in my TBR, but it was because I forgot I had it. It was in my bedroom, and I've started this a couple of times now. So this is the furthest that I've gotten. I am about 63 pages in, and I like the writing. It's a little bit interesting. It's like he goes kind of back and forth between like very minimal, quick language and then very like eloquent, more poetic language. And it took me a little bit of time to get into it, but right now I think I am into it. I think it took me about, I would say about 40 pages to really get into it and kind of get a feel for the writing and for the characters. But it's kind of gonna be like a family saga type book, but only taking place in 2 days. It is about our main character, Big Angel, who is turning, I believe, 70 and has brought the whole family together to have a big birthday party. He is actually been told that he doesn't have much time left to live. He has cancer, and so he just kind of wanted to do one final celebration. And then the day before the scheduled date of his before his party comes around, his mom passes, and so they schedule the funeral for the day before the birthday party. So it's kind of like the whole family is together to do kind of like a celebration type thing. So yeah, getting a lot of commentary so far on sort of this expectation of immigrants to fit in. Big Angel has always felt a lot of pressure to not be the stereotypical Mexican and to show, you know, the Americans that he belongs, that he is worthy, that he can provide more than what they might automatically think that he as a Mexican immigrant can. And it kind of turns into a lot of like bravado and a lot of very high sort of cockiness, but it all comes from that place of like just wanting to make sure that you are not the stereotype that this country has tried to create of the Mexican immigrant. And yeah, so we'll see kind of how the story progresses. I can imagine there'll be a lot of continued commentary on that particular theme, and then probably like a lot of family drama and things like that. So we'll see how I get on. Hello everybody. So I finished The House of Broken Angels yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I think it had a lot to say about family and immigration, family expectations, machismo, the way in which we parent, just different generations of immigrants and the expectations that your parents have, and the pressures that you feel when you are so different than what they want you to be. And it ended really nicely. I really enjoyed it and I recommend it. And now I'm starting to read a nonfiction that I thought I was gonna leave for later, but I found Scribd has the audiobook, so I'm gonna start it now. It is Frida in America, The Creative Awakening of a Great Artist by Celia Starr, and I'm just realizing that the author is actually white, which I was wanting to only read Latinx authors, but I do want to get this read off of my TBR, so it's the audiobook, so hopefully it won't take me very long. She apparently has, oh god, this looks like it's gonna be really, we'll see, because this actually looks like it might be really, really academic. And if so, then that's just not gonna be my thing. I wanted something more biographical. I don't know if that's actually a word to say, but she's a professor who specializes in modern American and contemporary art with an emphasis on feminist art and gender studies, as well as African and multicultural art. So we'll see. I'm gonna give it a shot, and I got this as a ARC from St. Martin's Press last year, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And if it's too much, I'm just gonna move on to the next thing, which might be either In the Time of Butterflies by Julia Alvarez or 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I didn't want to read two men in a row, but those are the audiobooks that I currently have available. I'm waiting for the Five Wounds to become available, and I don't think that either Fantasy Island, Fiebre Tropical, Soledad, or Nilda have audiobooks, which sucks. So I might like leave it on in the background as I work or do other things. I don't know. So far I'm like 15 pages in, and the narrative just seems odd. Like she's trying to almost fictionalize what happened. I don't like nonfiction that like purports to know what the people it's talking about felt or said or perceived or things like that without actual sources, without actually like just quote what she said. So it'll say something like she felt the air on, like how do you know that? Did she like, can you give me maybe the diary entry where she wrote that so that I know that you're not like just kind of trying to make it sound nicer? I mean, that you might just be a bad nonfiction writer if that's the case. Like if you can't pull me in just with the narrative of the facts of her life in the United States, and there's no flow. There is like a bunch of like this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then they met this person and then that person was important to this other person, and these other random people that you didn't need to know about lived down the street, and oh my god, they had nothing to do with Frida, but you know that they lived there. And it's like a lot of extraneous detail that I feel like this is gonna go on for like 320 pages. Yeah. Also can't not talk about the fact that I'm so excited because this really is the best time of the year. Football is back. Hello everybody. It is September 18th and I've started In the Time of Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. I am page 23 and I'm enjoying it. So it seems to be like little snippets of stories that are gonna make up the overall lives of these four Miraval sisters, three who died tragically and one who survived. And so this is their story. And yeah, so each sort of chapter talks about one of the sisters, and then it talks about 3 different years in her life and like little short snippets of something that happened in that year in her life. And so I think if you're looking for a more flowing narrative, Galileo, I'm sure he sees a bug. Like a little, I'm sure he must see a little fly or something. So if you're looking for like a more sweet, like a more traditionally told narrative of these stories, then this might not be for you. But so far I'm okay with that. I don't dislike it or anything like that. I enjoy the writing. I think Julia Alvarez's prose is beautiful. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like it if it continues on the way that it is, even though it's not traditionally told. But then again, neither really is How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accent, which at the end, if I'm not mistaken, makes reference to these sisters. That one is told in backwards chronological order, so she seems to enjoy sort of playing with time a little bit and when she's telling her stories, which I don't like. So that's what I'm currently reading. Hola everybody, welcome back to my channel. No, I've already done the intro. Hola everybody, it is September 20th at almost 10:30, and I finished In the Time of Butterflies last night by Julia Alvarez, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it portrayed the girls really beautifully, and it didn't like deify them or anything like that, which there was a postscript from the author in which she very much says this is a fictionalized rendition of the lives of these women. I didn't want to deify them. I didn't want to. She basically just wanted to treat their lives and their sacrifice with respect. I saw some reviews that said that this softened what happened. But I don't know if that reviewer finished the book, because I don't think that I don't think that, I mean, she didn't go into like such explicit detail where you felt she was kind of doing anything or showing you anything for the shock factor. There were some really horrific things that these women experienced, and I thought she did it with respect and was careful, and at times she didn't say exactly what happened, but you sort of got the gist of it, and I appreciated that. I'm not exactly sure what some of those reviewers would have wanted, like a really grotesque description of their lives and their death. I don't know. I was fine with it. I liked the sort of like the tiny little vignette style writing. I liked the play with time, with the future of the present day of the surviving sister, and then the past, and then sort of, so you begin with the present day, and then you kind of go and slowly meet up with it. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that I read it. I got to learn so much, and if it sounds like your kind of thing, then I would recommend it. I think that next I might do probably either 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That's the one I've had the longest, so I might start with that one. But the audiobook also came available for The Five Wounds by Kristen Valdez Quaid. I haven't had that one as long, so I think I'm gonna make sure to make a priority for 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, because I've had that one for years. And so that would make it like two sort of Latinx classics so far, but that's okay, because why not? So I've started tabbing all of the times that I remember to tab as I'm reading, and I see completely inappropriate behavior from a man towards a woman. Very specifically in this one, like fucking pedophilia, basically. Like there's literally a part in which she says, "You'll have to raise her first," she mocked. Really? Hola, hola. I have continued to read the 100 Years of Solitude. It's taking me forever to get through it. I think I'm like slightly halfway through, but still not done. I would like to finish, though. I don't really want to DNF it. I did start The Five Wounds. I started that on audio, but I'm not really getting into it as much, just because I know that I still have the other one. I still have 100 Years of Solitude. So I'm going to try and power through some of that today. It is currently the 6th of October, so I should be finished with it by then, and then I should hopefully also finish the Five Wounds. So kind of we'll see what happens. We'll see what else I can get finished. Probably, I don't know that I'll be able to finish anything else, because I don't think any of the other books that I have audiobooks, and I'm just I'm slightly slower reading it physically. So yeah. Hello everybody. It is Saturday, October 9th at almost 4 o'clock, and I am about 63 pages into The Five Wounds, which I've talked about a couple times and was part of my TBR. So I started it yesterday, and I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of like complexity to these characters. They're not necessarily like immediately likable, but you kind of still want to understand them, and there's just something that keeps you wanting to read and sort of see what happens, which I think, you know, is indicative of writing good characters. And I do enjoy Kristen Valdez Quaid's writing. I think it's really been able to evoke the setting a lot, which is so far we've had like a desert, and then like Southern California, I think, no, or New Mexico. So that's sort of atmosphere. And yeah, so we have a dad who has not really concerned himself with the daughter that he had at 18 with a woman who was 16 at the time. She comes back after a couple months of not having seen her, because like I said, he hasn't really concerned himself with her very much. So she is 16 and has herself become pregnant, and so she arrives while he's getting ready for some Easter sort of like events and festivities and traditions of the town and of his family. And so it's about her dealing with her situation and trying to make the most of it. Their relationship as father and daughter, his sort of not having it figured out yet, and having difficulties. There's a lot still about him that, I mean, I'm only 63 pages in, so there's still a lot I'm sure that we're gonna get of him, but I am tempted immediately to sort of think of him as kind of a lowlife, but I'm wondering kind of what else is there and what's behind the actions. We've been told now that he lost his father at age 5, so that's a very traumatic experience that obviously has a large bearing on your growth and your development and who you might become as a person. And so yeah, I am enjoying kind of like all the conversations that are going on and all of the things it's making me think about. So 63 pages in and I'm quite enjoying it. Oh la la. So I don't think that I wrapped up the 5 Wounds. I really, really enjoyed it. Those characters are flawed. They make a lot of mistakes. They are so eager for attention and validation that it can get a little overwhelming sometimes, and it causes them to make mistakes. But I feel like the author writes them with such care and softness that you just really see it, and you kind of understand, and you really do try to root for them. And ultimately, I really loved what she did with the characters and with the story, and everything felt very real and like something that I could see happening in a family that I could see developing. And so yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I really recommend it, and I thought the writing was absolutely beautiful. Then I read, which I don't have next to me, I think it's in my room, Fiebre Tropical, which is a YA queer Latinx novel, and I was really excited about it when I first started reading it. It doesn't hold back punches. It is very in your face. The writing is very like witty and biting, and I liked that. And I thought that it was going to handle really well the sort of like overpowering nature of the Latinx like Christian lifestyle, and how just completely like how it can wholly take over families and over lives and be a lot. And she, then our main character, embodies a lot of the disdain that I personally have for this lifestyle. Dad, if you're watching, I'm sorry. And a lot of the issues that I have with it, and the sort of like cultish way that I view it. But I feel like we were like moving like this, and ultimately just like really kind of fell and ended in like meh for me. I think there's a lot of promise in her writing. Like I said, I think it was witty and it was funny, and it had a lot that I saw, like the beginnings of a lot of really great things, but she just kind of didn't pull it together in the end. I was kind of left like, okay, which was frustrating, but yeah, I think this might be it for my Latinx heritage vlog. I got a few really good things read. I got a lot of things off of my physical TBR that I'm excited about. I did read 2 graphic novels that I am talking about in another vlog, just 4 graphic novels, which also count as Latinx heritage reads as well. So check that vlog out once it's uploaded. And yeah, I hope you all had a great Latinx Heritage Month. I hope that you were able to read some really great things. Let me know how it went, and if you have read any of these that I talked about and what you think about them. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. I love you all very much.